you have an abortion, you can also have a felony. I think the highest you can actually get is actual death.
Yeah.
You get the death penalty for an abortion. That seems kind of counterintuitive.
Also,
For a
around,
miscarriage,
yeah, and also around the fact, free Palestine.
So, we're officially starting again. There you go. Music's going. The whole goddamn thing. I don't know what the hell happened, but that's official. Turn that music off now. I'm actually sick of that music. I'm going to put some guitar stuff in there. Bam, 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 the whole fucking thing. Anyways, as we were saying, we are talking about video games and whatnot. Alan was talking about how much he fucking loves EA. He wants to give them more money, and he really
I never
likes
said I
Ubisoft.
love EA. I'm saying I don't hate it as much as everyone else does. Because again, there was a time I used to fucking love EA. That was before they killed my favorite fucking, again, my only favorite racing genres, fucking Burnout. That was before they released Burnout Paradise, that fucking god-awful piece of shit.
Yeah. Really quick, I'm going to check our YouTube. I know, God just fucking apologized. Sorry, guys, fucked up. Apologize.
I'm sorry.
Nick didn't write this. No. So, anyways, here's the thing, though. We're back. Hopefully everything works fine. We're going to get through this shit pretty quick. The main reason why I'm even coming back right now, too, as far as topics goes, is because I really want to hear what these guys think about fucking Detective Pikachu. It's going to be kind of cool. So, with that said, EA, yeah, access coming to PlayStation. It is what it is. We'll see how that goes. And speaking of video games too, I want to use this whole topic as a segue to something. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be playing some old school video games up on here. I might be playing Mortal Kombat 11. I might be playing some Overwatch, but that's only gonna be if you guys want to join me. That's the only time I'm gonna do that again. Aside from that, though, I'd rather play some old school shit, some PlayStation 1, etc. Tonight, when we get into the after hours, we are gonna be playing, not a stream, just gonna be chilling, playing some Overwatch as well. So if you guys want to get involved in that, join the after hours. It's rab.it/MC Rabbit. You get your asses in there. But with that said, we're done with the video game talk. We're done with the fucking topics. We're done about shooting the shit in general. Alan, change your shirt, baby. I'm giving you some time.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. It's time for that flex and chill. I gotta change this fucking little thing here. It looks like shit. I really looks bad.
Shirt off, I just go, ooh.
That was really good.
No.
That was good. It's better than you, bitch. Ooh.
Well, that's a fucking low-ass bar.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, yeah, you're better singing than someone that's tone deaf. Yeah, okay.
Oh, I'm Alan. This is an orgasm.
Oh, that's right, babies. Oh, fuck?
What's that music? I like it.
That's a weird-ass blender, Jeff.
I actually thought I muted myself. You guys heard my fucking YouTube videos. Thank you.
Wait, hold on though. Wait, you're watching YouTube? Oh, you know you can't listen to this because you had to Pikachu. Oh, spoilers by the way. So here's the thing.
Wait, are we gonna go into spoilers?
Well, no, because here's the thing with reviews. I've no longer, no offense, Gandhi. No, fuck you. You can take offense if you want to. You are gonna spoil this shit. You have no goddamn control. You do not know what a spoiler is from a non-spoiler. So, people, if you don't want to get spoiled, run, because Ganja will fuck that movie up for you.
First of all, fuck you, Nick. Second of all, fuck you, Nick, twice over. Third of all, I do my best, goddammit.
Man, but last time we were like, hey, no spoilers. No, not a spoiler. So the motherfucker dies. I was like, oh, that's...
I really did feel like that was a spoiler, because if you were paying attention...
Shut the hell, man!
You knew that motherfucker was gonna die.
No, I agree. I completely agree with you. But it's like some of these people, and I'm not trying to talk shit about nerds.
You're basically getting mad at me for spoiling that Santa Claus not real.
No, I realize that. But
What?
It's like,
he's not real?
But it's like you and I, and here's the thing, and I'm not trying to like say that we're above anybody else too, because we're dumb as fuck, especially you. But the thing is though, is like you and I don't take this comic book shit as seriously as other people do. So like when it comes to like something as silly as Pokemon, like you and I, we know what the shit is, but these nerds, they fucking lie to themselves like, oh, I don't know what's gonna happen. No one's gonna go Pika Pika. What? You said Pika Pika? I can't believe it.
Well,
And
again,
it's like,
some people want to go into a movie fresh without knowing anything. I'm one of those fucking people exactly. Like, I won't listen to a review for a fucking movie that I'm gonna fucking watch. I'll watch it after the fact.
No,
I'm like, hey,
I get that, Alan. But these are not the people I'm talking about. The people that were complaining about that were the people that are always on like what a cool website, IGN, all this other shit, constantly looking up movie news. There's no way in hell you did not come across this.
yeah.
Look, I'm just saying this straight up. I'll say this to the day I fucking die. Character deaths are always a spoiler.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
wait.
I agree. But when it comes to something like Deadpool 2, people were kind of like, wait,
Man,
the villain dies.
you know what, guys? I'll try my best not to spoil the next Passion of Christ meme remix for you, then.
Actually, that might be.
Look, even if you're saying a superhero movie, hey, villain dies, I'm still saying, hey, a character death is always a spoiler. So every time I fucking do a review for a new fucking movie, I talked about Captain fucking Marvel. I didn't say anything about anyone that fucking dies in that fucking movie. Does that fucking happen in that movie? Of course it fucking does. It's the movie. At some point,
If I was
someone dies.
reviewing Abe Lincoln, he gets shot in the theater. Spoilers, Ganja.
Well, okay, that's okay. We're talking more about other bullshit about spoiler culture than we are talking about the actual fucking movies we're going to. But like real life spoilers are a thing because not everyone like maybe Abe Lincoln is probably a fucking hilarious thing. But like there's plenty of documentaries I've watched where I know nothing about, and you could easily spoil that for me.
Right.
Anyways, we'll move on because you motherfuckers are spoiling my happiness. So, with that said, Detective Pikachu, Pokemon! Gonna catch them all, Alan. I'm gonna catch all these L's. Mr. Red. You're not a Pokemon fan, are you?
No, I enjoyed watching maybe the first few seasons of the show when I was a kid. And I played only Pokemon Silver, but as Ganja points out, because he doesn't know what turn play is, I didn't enjoy the combat system. I never was a fan of the turn play system, so I played one, I beat one, and then every one of them looked the same, so I just never played them again. So I'm kind of just, I don't hate Pokemon, I'm just kind of indifferent.
Okay, and here's the thing, like, it's really hard to even decide, because I didn't see the movie, so I don't really know how to even, like, structure this particular thing, and I know that you're going to be doing most of that, Alan, but before you even get into that, and Ganja, I'm going to ask you, you have a love for comedy and for Ryan Reynolds. I mean, you like Deadpool and everything, too, so...
I've loved Ryan Reynolds since he did Just Friends.
Okay.
Where he plays a fat boy that tries to impress somebody he was friends with in middle school. It's stupid now in hindsight. It's just promoting that, like, friend zone bullshit, but he played it endearingly.
But when you get into a situation like this, was Ryan Reynolds selling you more than a Pokemon aspect of it, or was it vice versa?
Okay, so your question is very
loaded.
It's very loaded, very fucking loaded. Because if I try to say like, oh, Ryan Reynolds was a big sell, it sounds like Ryan Reynolds was more than Pikachu. Honestly, I think it was a perfect synergy between the two, and the way that the Pikachu was moving around and his character reactions, I kind of hope that they did a little bit of motion capture on Ryan Reynolds' face and how some of the emotions and expressions are done, because of some of the times when he's fucking with the Justin Smith character, there's a lot of interactions where it feels genuine and they feel like they're actually there in the room talking to each other, acting with each other. So I don't know if they did a stand-in that Ryan Reynolds just stood next to and then they did their scenes and he got somewhat of an idea, or it was 100% like this little dummy that they usually do for characters like that. Mm-hmm. But it felt very realistic in terms of how endearing he comes off, and that endearingness comes off like very perfectly, so it balances out a lot of reveals that happen later off in the film. But when it comes to like the Pikachu, I think Pikachu was laid down perfectly without him having to do the pika the whole time, which he does occasionally in terms of cuteness and in terms of the right ways of performing it, and it doesn't feel like out of place just do a cute moment to sell a plushie. So I think it was perfectly balanced between the two, between actual Pikachu and Ryan Reynolds doing the voiceover, and it didn't feel like one or other was overpowering each other too much.
Yeah, and that's the thing, too, because apparently what I'm hearing is at the beginning of the movie, it starts off really serious with all this, you know, backstory and all this backlog stuff with these characters. So, like, Alan, I'm going to let you begin it, man. Like, what were you feeling when you first started watching this movie and then when it get into the whole Pokemon of it all?
Yeah, it's funny because the only reason I watched it just honestly was just for this review, because like I've always been like, yeah, like I said, I'm indifferent to Pokemon, and I honestly hate Ryan Reynolds. I think like outside the Deadpool movies, I've never really enjoyed him because I always felt that he's just basically trying. It's like he's up his own ass. He's smelling his own farts. Like he thinks he's the funniest person in the world. So when seeing the trailer, I'm like, man, I don't like the way he's talking. It feels like they just dubbed over him, and I was just kind of going to this movie expecting to be met by it. But almost as soon as I started watching it, I was like, wait, they're really setting this up really interestingly. There's something that happens at the start that asks a lot of questions. And funny thing is I didn't expect to like Justin Smith, but as they're dealing with Justin Smith's character, I was like, wow, Jurassic World did you wrong, friend. You are actually good. Like, you are good. You're not the discount Kevin Hart I accused you of being.
He didn't do any of that scary, like, yeah, like, ah!
He did, okay. He did, but it wasn't just randomly. It was like when it happened, it made sense. Like when he first meets with Pikachu, it's after a scene where he kind of goes into the room and he's upset because he's remembering his mother passing. I'm like, wow, you're doing this really, really well. And as soon as they get past the emotion, and it's like, okay, he doesn't even say a word. He just kind of sits there looking really sad. As soon as he gets through the emotion and he meets Pikachu, he does a scream. And basically Pikachu calls him. I was like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Calm the fuck down. Like, we got to get through this. But I actually really enjoyed it because I feel like they got a decent blend of Ryan Reynolds comedy. It wasn't overpowering like he was trying to like outdo himself in Deadpool, but they got that perfect blend. Like Gonja's saying, there's a perfect synergy between Ryan Reynolds and Pikachu, but also between the comedy and the seriousness, where I never felt like one overpowered the other. I felt like they worked as they needed to per scene, and it was really, really interesting. So I was actually really appreciated that it wasn't just, hey, Pokemon the movie. There was actually a film here.
Yeah, and can you explanatorily rate like how they even like what reason they give Pikachu to talk in regular, and then like because that seems kind of weird to me. Like I didn't like in the Pokemon show how Meowth talked, nobody else did it, and it was never really explained to me. So
the only thing that I can tell you right now is that the movie explains it really well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say that right now. The movie explains it really well because at first something happens to the character and you're like, wait, oh, he's hallucinating. It was this drug. But then as the movie goes on, it kind of clicked to me. I'm like, oh, that's why. And then it makes sense there. So it's like, all I'll say for the people there is there's an explanation why he talks. Like Jaden Smith. Justice Smith isn't crazy. It's not some weird hallucination. There is a factual reason within it. And that's actually something I want about the movie because the movie is really entertaining. It flows really, really well. There's only a few nitpicks I had. Like with the girl, when she first shows up, I was like, oh my God, you're fucking awful. But then she eventually becomes really interesting. But something I really, really love about this movie, I don't know if Ganja's going to agree with me, I feel like this is Ready Player One done right.
Yeah.
Because when you saw the Ready Player One trailer, my first thought was like, dude, it's just a bunch of fucking references. It's references the fucking movie. What happens when you saw the movie? References the fucking movie. But then when you see, the Pokemon trailer, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh man, yeah, of course it's showing Bulbasaur and Greninja and Mewtwo. It's just gonna be fucking Pokemon Snap the movie. But I was so fucking wrong. Every Pokemon in that trailer, from the fucking Bulbasaur to the fucking random monkeys, I don't know what they're called, to Mewtwo, to every Pokemon they show the Greninja are super important to the plot. The Bulbasaur are super important to the plot. Mewtwo is super important to the plot. Greninja is super important to the plot. That's not a spoiler. It's just showing that, like, they're showing all.
Oh no,
these
you're
Pokemon.
allowed to spoil, by the way. I that's the big thing. Like, we are definitely doing spoilers. But yeah.
I think I could talk about this movie and really give it a good review without going into major stuff. But every Pokemon in that trailer is so important to the plot that I'm like, wow, I really enjoyed this. I'm feeling such a breath of fresh air because I expected this to be Pokemon Snap the movie. But I'm like, no, everything fits. There's twists and turns and mysteries. And even though it's like, okay, it's not the greatest book mystery in the world, there was enough of a mystery that it kept me going to right at the end. I'm like, wow, this is really fucking good. I'm loving Justice Smith. I'm loving Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. I'm loving the girl as a fucking sidekick. And I'm liking the villain because there's so many ways they expect this to be like Incredibles. Like, oh, of course that guy's the evil guy, but they do so many twists and turns where you're like, what the fuck is going on? And I had a great fucking time. That's the best way I can fucking sum it up.
Now, Gandra, I'm going to ask you really quick. As far as the explanation for Pikachu's talk and everything, do you feel like that was fully explained, or do you feel like that was as good as what Alan's saying? Do you agree with the quality?
I'd say it was fully explained. Like, if you really want an explanation of how the Pikachu talks, when it goes into major spoiler territories, and at that point, you're gonna question everything magical in movies whatsoever, or anything that's sci-fi that doesn't make sense in like any kind of realm of reality that we deal with here in our plane of existence. Like at that point, you're gonna question everything. Like if you had a problem with that, you really are gonna have a big problem watching Avengers Endgame.
I'm sorry,
and that timeline bullshit.
If you have a problem with the explanation for why he's talking, why are you in a Pokemon movie?
Well, that's the thing is that, you know, movie-wise, I mean, you even said that you only watched this to review it on here, so it's like, unless you're a big fan, most likely this movie's probably garbage.
Actually,
and I'm kind of wondering...
I'm not a big fan, and I actually really enjoyed it because it's a legit good movie.
I'm way more of a big fan than Alan is. Alan's a casual that watched the first 2 seasons and played when it was like hype and maybe had a few cards. But I was knee deep in Pokemon. I had the little figurines that popped out the Pokeball. I had this DVD collection. I had all the video games and stuff. I fell off as most kids did after they got more into like high school. So after Generation 3, I didn't really fuck around with Pokemon all that much. So with respect to the hardcore ones that helped this movie come out by staying around, but this movie was really well done. It's I want to say it's a perfect kids film, but it doesn't do it justify. It's almost on the level of that animated movie we watched on Netflix the couple.
Next Gen.
Next Gen. It's on that level. It's a great kids movie. If you're a kid, this is 100% fucking better than sex. You have no idea what sex is yet, but the concept of the best thing of your life, this is up there. You're gonna have a great fucking time if you're an adult that likes Pokemon. I don't see you not having a bad time with this, unless you're just a curmudgeon that doesn't like Pokemon who are going to see this as a review, and at that point. One, it's not made for you to a technical certain point, and what's there is a very basic storyline for you in terms of a reviewer. So you are still going to give it a pass as a decent movie because the basic stuff there as a story is done very well, neatly wrapped up, and it feels like all the characters are endearing, down to the sun, down to Pikachu, and down to the other Pokemon that you encounter. My favorite character is Psyduck, and he actually plays the stupid role, but it's so endearing, and he feels like such a lovable character, and the way he comes across as, he's an idiot, he's confused half the time because he's always got a headache, but he seems endearing, and he seems he's awake in the situation, and the way they do the animation on the facial features and his motion, especially when he interacts with Pikachu and they start to build that friendship, I'm not spoiling anything. It's in the fucking trailer. He fucking hugs him out, and the way it's done is it seems very genuine, and it's not just trying to rush to get these characters mixed together so they can sell plushies. It's a genuine story of people becoming friends of unlikely situations, and the coming together of people that are on the same quest to solve this big mystery, which is what's going on in Radiant City. And I like the little references because they're done subtly. My favorite reference, hands down, and if you don't pay attention, you don't catch it, is the intro video to the entrance to the, I forget what the city's called. It's called Rivet.
Rhyme City.
Rhyme City.
Which is funny because they kept saying RCPD, and in my mind I was like, Raccoon City Police Department? Oh god. Oh god, get out of here, man.
And one of the throwaway lines is, this is 20 years after Mewtwo escaped so-and-so. So technically this is an actual spiritual successor to the Pokemon anime series. I'm wondering if it gets a sequel, will we run into a live-action version of Misty, Brock, and Ash? Because with that throwaway line, they can technically do that now because it kind of exists within that universe.
Yeah, and actually something that fucking Aaron in the chat said, if I don't see Hitmonchan or Lee in it, I'm gonna be disappointed. This does something that I like. My favorite thing in the fucking world, and I've said this for why I love Supernatural and American Gods, is give me a snapshot of what the hell this world is like for someone walking down the street. What's it like for someone walking down the street in the Pokemon world? And they do that because as soon as he goes to Raccoon City or Rhyme City, which I fucking laugh my ass off when he goes to Rhyme City, he walks to where he needs to go. And it's just showing Pokemon just living amongst humans and basically almost like they're fucking guide animals, like we have in real world.
You know, one thing I'm trying not to do too, because the thing is, I want to pull a Justin's Arian where I say like my opinions on something I didn't fucking see, but I did see the trailers a lot because I'm a fucking nerd and I just want to like see more Pokemon, right? The thing is though, is one thing that was concerning to me is this trailer looks a lot like this one over here, is Zootopia, where basically like it goes into the Zootopia world with the animals. And they walk in, and it's like, oh, look at all these designs. And it's cool, and you see the movie, and you're like, I can't believe they were able to design each and every single character to such an extent. But then you start realizing, yeah, this suffers from Star Wars ism, where there's only like 3 actual characters in this pile of fucking nature.
Well, okay,
know?
the thing is when you walk in and he's going through Rhyme City, you're seeing all the Pokemon, and some of them have jobs, some of them are just guide animals, everyone has a partner. But when you see the trailers, the ones they focus on are important to the plot, and there's a lot of Pokemon that are really important to the plot. That's why I said like that trailer isn't just Pokemon Snap the fucking movie. Is a lot of these characters you'll see, it's like maybe they're not your favorite Pokemon that are focused on the plot, but every one that gets like more than like a second of screen time in the trailers is something that interacts with the main characters, and that's something I appreciate. Because when you watch Ready Player One, you're like, oh man, Mecha Godzilla and King Kong are fighting, and oh man, they had a Chucky there, and it's like, oh, blink and you miss them. But with this, it's like it doesn't have that problem. It actually was able to show enough going. Like obviously, there are hundreds of Pokemon. They can't have a whole movie unless you want to. Again, I keep mentioning Pokemon Snap. Unless you want a fucking movie of Justin Smith just walking around staring at Pokemon for 2 hours, then okay, it's not that fucking movie. But if you want a movie that actually has a plot and uses characters like really intelligently, like this movie is a lot of fucking fun. And I'm someone that doesn't like Pokemon. Like I'm not a huge fan of it, and I had a great time with this movie because it's able to cater to both audiences. If you love Pokemon, you're gonna get a lot of cool shit out of it. If you're not a huge fan of Pokemon, you're still gonna get a good movie out of it.
Yeah. But so what would you rate it then, I mean, at this point? Because I know we're not going to talk about spoilers then, and it's like, if we're not, then I think that pretty much, I mean, we're all good here. What would you rate this movie, man?
Honestly, I think this is a buy. I think this is go to the theaters, especially if you get a trading card, which are kind of cool because I got a bunch of them. I actually do have a bunch of them I'm holding right now. So,
yeah, man.
So
it's funny. Julian in the chat, he got a magic card. I know you got look at
That's why he doesn't like the movie. He's like, man, magic card, motherfucker. I got a magic card.
I'm gonna be my friends with Splash.
Hey, that's what I got. I still went to the fucking kiosk like, hey man, I didn't get my Pokemon cards. They looked at me like I was looking crazy, and I was like, yeah, I didn't get my Pokemon cards. Oh, go ask your waitress, because I went to the Alamo in the local Denver area, and I go to the waitress and like, hey, look for my Pokemon cards, and she looks at me. She goes, yeah, we so is everybody else back there. And I looked, there's like 15 people, and they're like, yeah, we can't tend to find them. We don't know where the box is.
Okay, Ganja, I got a bunch of them. I'll give you a couple next time I see you.
No, but the thing that's frustrating about this too, by the way, too, this is the thing that you guys need to stop, like, you know, anyone watching this here too, stop hoping that they actually give you the shit they give you, and don't pay extra for it. With Shazam,
Oh no, it was part of the movie.
Well, no, but I was supposed to get a comic book movie. And or not comic movie, a comic book for Shazam.
Oh, you got one of those?
Yeah, no, but the thing is, though, they didn't give me the comic book. You're supposed to, like, when you get an IMAX thing and you spend like an extra $2 for the fuck, like, on top of like going in there first, blah blah, all this other shit. But they also give you. And by the way, I like how they changed IMAX from not being 3D to just being a nice, pretty screen. It's like, yeah, I get that with the fucking Dolby. What the fuck? But anyways, yeah, they're supposed to give you comic books, and no one got them. Literally, not a single person in that fucking movie theater got them. And I was like, that's bullshit because you fucking charged me for them. I literally paid extra. I was like, oh, if I'm gonna be here, it's gonna be $2. I'll buy it. Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Didn't get shit. I'm like, you know what? That biggest fuck you from watching that bullshit Shazam. Like, fuck you guys for not giving me what you said you're gonna give me. That's
Yeah, just
bullshit.
kind of be careful, mate. If you want to get like, I think the Pokemon cards, honestly, I saw it like fucking Friday the next day, and they were just giving them as you fucking got the tickets. So it just, again, you probably know your theater, you know how many people go there. If you're worried about getting, you go to a smaller theater. But honestly, especially with this movie, I don't see a problem because like, I actually got extras because a random fucking video game store was just having a special, and as soon as you bought the game, you got a pack of cards. You get two.
Did you get Psyduck?
No, I got
fuck.
Detective Pikachu, Lickitung, Jigglypuff. I'll probably get that Cedric,
Yeah.
Snubbull, and Mr. Mime, which I might keep for myself.
Yeah, you should.
Mr. Mime's my favorite Pokemon, actually.
But you, Gandra, I'm gonna ask you, what would you rate this fucking film, sir?
Oh, me. If you're a huge Pokemon fan,
If you're a huge cunt.
You're a huge fucking asshole.
okay, if you want me to do the review of you're a huge fucking cunt, if you're a huge fucking asshole, you're gonna give it a fucking or avoid it. Christian, I'm eyeing you in the chat. I don't know what the fuck you expected from this movie, dog, but it is a high.
You saw that post, right?
Yeah, I saw that post. You are being a fuck it right now. I give your review a fucking on that fucking comment section. But if you're actually a Pokemon fan or someone who enjoys like kids films like this that are loosely wrapped up, and it's a quick like hour and a half film, go in there, order some popcorn, get a nice little pizza, enjoy. You're gonna have a fun time. Go outside the house, see the sunlight for a few minutes. Nothing wrong with that. Well, like, it is a fun fucking movie. Like I had a great fucking time. I cried a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie. There was some scenes that were very emotional, and they were done fucking right. And I felt a connection with a lot of these characters. I feel like a lot of characters are genuine, and the world they built was the world worked. There was some things with the Pokemon that I would ask questions, but then again, it's gonna have sequels, and I don't know if they're gonna do better or try to explain more of the city and how the city developed. And after a certain point, like those are probably just fun references for the kids to enjoy, just to have a laugh. So me personally, I give it a high buy it, a full price. If you're a Pokemon fan, and if you're a fan of these type of kid movies, and you have a kid, it's a fucking better than sex. Go see it. You're gonna have a great fucking time. Honestly, I have no problem giving this a better rating than Avengers because I had a great time watching this. Avengers sometimes felt like a chore, especially that fucking whack-ass comedy. At least this comedy made sense for the audience it was trying to hit.
And the biggest thing is, too, is like when it comes to a movie like this, there's so much shit happening with this, and it's only 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Avengers Endgame, let's just say that it was great, right? It was still too fucking long. Like, you can't fucking put somebody in a movie theater for 3 hours and then pad it out with bullshit, you know, and expect people
But that's the thing, like, I don't know if you're ever going to watch it, Nick, but it didn't feel like that. I was like, yeah, actually forgot. The funny thing is, it's almost 2 hours. I think it's hour 50. Yeah. It didn't feel like that. It passed by super fast. It doesn't have that problem where it's like, why is this in the movie? Everything there, it feels like, again, they made a movie first and then put in the Pokemon they need to. It didn't feel like this was a cash grab. Like, I was thinking in my head, like, is this an anime adaptation or a video game adaptation? But either way, regardless, I think it's one of the best. I think it's going to be remembered as one of the best adaptations.
I think this is a multimedia adaptation because throughout the whole movie, they're doing callbacks to the manga, they're doing callbacks to the video game, they're doing callbacks to the fucking anime. Hell, even the startup, like I mentioned, the startup line in the movie is just a huge callback to, hey, I know y'all 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds out here remember that first Pokemon movie. This is technically a sequel. Get ready. It really knows its audience. And fuck yeah, I enjoyed it, and I cried a few scenes that were emotional because I felt the emotional depth. I have no problem saying that. Avengers, when they were supposed to do emotional stuff, it felt like a cash grab and trying to do a remake of what they got done with part one. It never felt genuine. It never felt original. This was a fucking original, and it was genuine. And honestly, it was just a detective fucking movie. If you look at it, it even had a lot of references to the old school detectives down to a video shoot. But it was done right, and it had a lot of heart, and I could tell the people that made this movie were fans of Pokemon. And I appreciate that shit. And for the first time in a while, I felt like I went to a movie theater, came out, and was excited. And I'm like, all right, so now I got to review a film and just hope people don't get mad at me.
Yeah, no. But like I said, man, I mean, I do want to watch it. It's just like for me, I've been spending money on a lot of movies this year, and every single one of them I was upset with. So I'm waiting. I'm gonna be honest, I'm waiting for bootleg. You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you'll feel about it. I doubt you're gonna hate it. You might be like, yeah, it was okay. I doubt you're gonna be like, oh, that was.
You might be like Max, because Max is reasonable. He's like, yeah, I'll give it a rented. I loved it, but there's some problems with it. I think you'll be like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just like I'm so sick of spending money like that. And the funny thing is, like, there's been so many movies like Us. I was almost sure I was gonna give that like a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck. And then Avengers Endgame. I remember admitting on the shows, I'm like, yeah, I don't like the trailer, but like, I'm gonna love this fucking movie. I know I'm gonna love this movie. I hate that fucking like. As we've talked more about it, I literally I'm like at hate now. Like.
Yeah.
Every time I think about it. So, yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see what happens. Here's the thing, though, people. If you guys disagree with this, which you probably do, I know Julian's right fucking there, disagreeing all the goddamn time. But here's the thing, though. You can tell us an MCA Rabbit right after this. Go to rab.it/MCA Rabbit. You can hang out with us, watch some YouTube. We're going to play some Overwatch, most likely. Probably some Mortal Kombat 11. I'll be sharing my screen, whooping everybody's ass. Alan, Mr. Red, why don't you tell folks what you be doing all the time?
And as far as the Rabbit's concerned, for the Facebook people, you'll see a Facebook post. For people that are Twitch, go to the Chat Attack on Facebook to get that link. We'll try to post it in the chat, but live streams are weird. As soon as it fucking ends, we can't fucking talk to y'all, which I don't fucking get. But we'll try to make sure everyone can get the Rabbit. But as far as what I'm doing when I'm not belligerently yelling at the fucking Chat Attack, I'm on one of us doing all sorts of bullshit. Check out Screener Squad. I'm all over the place on there. Check out the Final Days of Gotham. We've fucking wrapped up that goddamn bullshit, and I'm sure Jet's gonna say thank God if she was here. But
Thank God.
yeah, there we go. That shit's fucking over. Be sure to check that out. We're also doing a weekly talk about Game of Thrones. Christian and Miles' favorite fucking television show. Episode 5 is probably gonna come out in a couple of days when we see it and review it. So be sure to check out all that stuff.
Yep, and then Mr. Ganja Guru, why don't you tell the folks what you be doing usually when you're not around here smoking weed, acting like a motherfucking fool?
Well, it still involves fire. So, A Little Fire Burner, y'all, a website that I might not be a part of tomorrow if he checks out this episode. We post a beautiful podcast called the Illuminati Podcast where me, Alan, and the Ruthless One are talking about politics, talking about social, all kind of stuff that come your way, and give our judgment and opinions on it. Make sure to go check it out. It's a very good podcast. I'm also doing my own personal podcast now. This one is going to be on Metropolis Facebook page. I'm waiting for it to upload. It was supposed to be done yesterday, but as we all know, time gets ahead of us, and good drinks sometimes slows down progress. So it's going to be called A Subversive History with Ganja. I'm going to go into all things culturally subversive, politics, weird shit. Next one is actually going to be about 420, about drug culture, so make sure you go check that out. I'm not going to give a glaring 420 review. I'm actually going to go into depth about a lot of politics in marijuana culture and the different areas about it, especially about the economics. So when it comes up, make sure to check that out.
Yeah, the Metropolis, right here, people. The Metropolis Collective is collaborative, create a space where artists and creators share their work, and they always share their ganja if Mr. Garrett Smith is around. So, with that said, we're going to fuck out of here. That was a good plug. I feel good about that.
I feel neat.
Hey, you fucked up the start, but you nailed the landing.
Hey, you know what, Alan?
That's all that matters.
You're wearing red on a blue show, bitch. What the fuck you did? SmackDown versus Raw?
I don't feel like putting my shirt on, and I want to grab a blue shirt.
Yeah. You know how about this? Why don't you fucking count down me, Alan, you little bitch, and do the 3, the 2, and the 1.
Fuck yourself.
Okay. Sorry.
On that 3, on that 2, on that 1. Attack the chat!
Attack the chat. He was all by himself on that one. Poor guy.
I'm here also.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jet. You want to know what happened to the end of Pikachu?
Sure.
I don't know. Anyway. People, rab.it/MCA Rabbit. Get your asses in there. Let's talk. Let's have fun.
After I watch movies, watch music videos, we'll fuck with Alan because he's wrong.
He's always wrong. Or you guys can watch Sammy Ain't Played It. You know? Before he changes the name again, steals another fucking idea. That's right. The salt's still there. Fuck you, Sammy.
Sammy ain't got an original idea.
Fun
Did
fact,
you lose all your friends and become a racist like you said everyone else was?
Fun fact, it won't last longer than 3 weeks.
Sammy, you stink like poo-poo.